In the last episode, humanity teetered on the brink of collapse, ravaged by environmental disaster and societal upheaval. Yet amidst the ruins, a beacon of hope emerged in the form of Ambrose Wynter, a brilliant and charismatic entrepreneur who dared to challenge the status quo. The once blue skies were now a hazy gray, the air thick with toxic fumes, and the landscape scarred by the remnants of a civilization that had ravaged its own planet. The few remaining cities were heavily fortified, their walls a testament to the desperation of a species fighting for survival. As I, Ambrose Wynter, stood atop the makeshift walls of New Eden, the sprawling metropolis I had helped establish, I gazed out upon the desolate wasteland, my mind racing with the weight of responsibility. The eyes of humanity were upon me, and I knew that I had to act swiftly to ensure their survival. The memories of the past still lingered, etched in my mind like the scars on the planet's surface. I recalled the days when Earth's governments had squabbled over petty differences, oblivious to the catastrophic consequences of their actions. The inertia of bureaucratic red tape had strangled meaningful action, and now the consequences were dire. But I had never been one to dwell on the past. My focus was on the future, on forging a new path for humanity. I had spent years assembling a team of visionaries, engineers, and scientists, and together we had developed cutting-edge technology that could potentially reverse the damage. The hum of the makeshift engines, the chatter of the engineers, and the murmur of the guards on the walls created a symphony of sounds that filled my ears as I descended into the heart of New Eden. The streets were bustling with activity, people from all walks of life hurrying to and fro, their faces etched with determination. My thoughts were interrupted by the arrival of my trusted lieutenant, Maya. "Ambrose, we have a situation developing in Sector 4, she said, her voice low and urgent. I turned to face her, my eyes narrowing. "What kind of situation?" "Reports are coming in of an alien vessel drifting into our territory. It's not responding to hails, and we're not sure what its intentions are." My grip on the railing tightened as I processed the information. This could be a game changer. An alien vessel, if it was indeed seeking refuge or willing to collaborate, could hold the key to unlocking new technologies and alliances. "Maya, assemble a team and get to Sector 4. I want to know what we're dealing with." As she nodded and turned to leave, I couldn't help but feel a spark of excitement. This was it, the moment that could change the course of human history. The team assembled at Sector 4 consisted of experts from various fields: linguistics, xenobiology, and exopology. We converged on the alien vessel, a massive structure unlike anything I had ever seen. The hull was scarred and battered with strange markings etched into its surface. As we boarded the vessel, we were met with an eerie silence. The interior was dimly lit and the air was stale. Our team fanned out, scanning for any signs of life or technology. It was then that I saw her, a lone figure, huddled in the corner of a makeshift chamber. Her eyes were sunken, her skin pale, but as she looked up I saw a spark of determination. "Who are you?" I asked, trying to keep my voice gentle. The alien, who introduced herself as Lyra, spoke in a broken but understandable dialect. She claimed to be a member of a marginalized species, fleeing persecution and seeking refuge. As I listened to her story, a plan began to form in my mind. This could be the start of something greater, a chance to forge an unlikely alliance, to equip this species with our technology, and to propel humanity forward. But as I looked into Lyra's eyes, I saw something more, a glimmer of a challenge, a test of our resolve as humans. Little did I know, this was only the beginning of a journey that would take us to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, testing our mettle and pushing us to the limits of what was thought possible. The stars beckoned, and I felt an overwhelming sense of purpose. It was time to rise to the challenge, to shape the destiny of humanity and to forge a new future among the stars. But as I turned to leave, a sudden alarm pierced the air and the ship's systems flickered to life. Lyra's eyes locked onto mine and I saw a flash of fear. "What's happening?" I demanded, my heart racing. "The ship's defenses are failing. Maya's voice crackled over the comms link. "We're under attack." The universe had just gotten a lot more complicated. The sound of alarms echoed through the vessel and my team sprang into action. Lyra's eyes darted between us, her fear palpable. "Maya, report," I barked into the comms link. "Incoming vessels, sir," she responded, her voice tense. "Multiple hostiles and Thayer not responding to hails." I turned to Lyra, my mind racing. "Who are they? What do they want?" Lyra's gaze faltered, and for a moment, I saw a glimmer of uncertainty. I don't know," she stammered. I gripped her arm, my grip firm but gentle. "Lyra, we need to know what's going on. Are these your people?" She shook her head, a single tear rolling down her cheek. "No, Thayer not from my species. I think Thayer the ones who were hunting me." The weight of her words hit me like a ton of bricks. We were caught in the middle of an intergalactic conflict, and our presence had just become a liability. "Maya, prepare our defenses," I ordered, my voice calm but urgent. "We need to hold our ground until we can figure out what's going on." The ship's systems hummed to life, and our makeshift shields flickered into place. The air was thick with tension as we waited for the hostiles to make their move. The silence was broken by the sound of energy blasts piercing our shields. The vessel shuddered and Lyra stumbled, her eyes wide with fear. "Hold on," I yelled, grabbing her arm and pulling her close. The world around us erupted into chaos, the sound of energy blasts and blaster fire filling the air. I knew that our small team couldn't hold out for long against an unknown enemy. We needed to even the odds, and fast. "Maya, can you hack into their systems?" I shouted above the din of battle. "Working on it, sir," she responded, her fingers flying across her console. The wait was agonizing, but finally, Maya's console beeped, and she looked up, a triumphant glint in her eye. "I've got access to their comms system, sir, but it's not what we expected." I turned to her, my heart racing. "What do you mean?" Maya's expression was grave. "The hostiles. Thayer not attacking us. Thayer trying to protect us." My mind reeled as I processed the information. The universe had just taken another unexpected turn, and I was forced to reevaluate our situation. "Lyra," I said, turning to the alien woman, "it seems that your enemies are our allies. But what does that mean for us?" "Lyra, what's going on?" I pressed, my grip on her arm tightening. "Why are they trying to protect us?" Lyra's eyes darted between me and Maya, confusion etched on her face. I don't know," she stammered. "This doesn't make sense. Thayer the ones who were hunting me." I turned to Maya. "Can you get more information out of their systems?" Maya nodded, her fingers flying across her console once more. The ship's systems beeped and whirred as she worked her magic. Suddenly, the console lit up with a garbled message. Maya's eyes scanned the data and her expression turned grim. "What is it?" I asked, my patience wearing thin. "The hostiles," Maya began, her voice measured. "Thayer not just protecting us. Thayer trying to get us away from something." "Away from what?" Lyra asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Maya's gaze met mine, and I saw a flicker of fear in her eyes. "According to their systems, there's a entity approaching. Something so powerful it could wipe out entire civilizations." The ship's shields took another hit and the vessel shuddered beneath our feet. I knew we couldn't hold out for much longer. "Maya, can you pinpoint the entity's location?" I asked, my mind racing with strategies. Maya nodded, her fingers dancing across the console. "I've got a lock on the entity's signature. It's heading straight for us." I turned to Lyra, my grip on her arm tightening. "Lyra, we need to get to the bottom of this. Who or what is this entity, and why are these hostiles trying to protect us from it?" Lyra's eyes locked onto mine, a spark of determination igniting within them. "I think I know where to start looking," she said, her voice firm. I nodded, a plan forming in my mind. "Maya, plot a course for the entity's location. We're going to find out what's going on, no matter the cost." The ship's engines roared to life as Maya worked her magic. I felt the familiar thrum of adrenaline coursing through my veins as we hurtled towards the unknown. "We're in this together, Lyra," I said, my voice firm. "We'll uncover the truth, no matter what dangers lie ahead." Lyra's gaze met mine, a glimmer of trust sparking within them. Together we faced the void, ready to confront whatever mysteries awaited us as we pierced the veil of uncertainty. The ship's sensors began to pick up anomalies in the entity's signature. Maya's eyes darted between the console and me, her brow furrowed in concern. Ambrose, reading energy fluctuations unlike anything I've seen before, she said, her voice laced with trepidation. I nodded, my mind racing with the implications. Keep monitoring the entity's signature, Maya. We need to know what we're up against. Lyra's grip on my arm tightened. I think I know what might be going on, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I turned to her, my eyes locked onto hers. What is it, Lyra? The hostiles, she began, her words hesitant. I think they're not just protecting us from the entity. They're trying to protect the entity from us. I raised an eyebrow, skepticism etched on my face. What do you mean? Lyra's eyes darted between me and Maya, as if searching for reassurance. I've seen this before, Ambrose, in my memories, the entity. It's not a predator, it's a guardian. A shiver ran down my spine as I processed Lyra's words. A guardian. What could it be guarding? Maya, can you scan for any nearby celestial bodies? I asked, my mind racing with possibilities. Maya nodded, her fingers flying across the console once more. The ship's sensors hummed to life and a holographic display flickered to life before us. I've got a lock on a nearby planet, Maya said, her voice measured. It's unlike anything I've seen before. The planet's energy signature is resonating with the entities. I felt a jolt of excitement course through my veins. Take us in, Maya. We need to see this for ourselves. The ship shuddered as we entered the planet's atmosphere and the view screen flickered to life before us. I gasped as the planet's landscape came into view, towering crystal spires, iridescent forests, and glittering oceans that seemed to stretch on forever. By the stars, Maya whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. As we descended further, I spotted a glowing structure at the heart of the planet. It pulsed with an otherworldly energy, and I knew instinctively that this was the entity's lair. Maya, set us down near the structure, I said, my voice firm. The ship's engines died down and we landed with a gentle thud on the planet's surface. I turned to Lyra, a sense of trepidation building in my chest. Are you ready for this, Lyra? Lyra's eyes locked onto mine, a spark of determination igniting within them. I was born ready, Ambrose. Together we stepped out of the ship and into the unknown. The air was crisp and clean, filled with an otherworldly scent that was both familiar and alien. Lyra and I stood at the edge of the ship's ramp, gazing out at the glittering landscape before us. The crystal spires towered above, their facets glinting like 1,000 tiny mirrors. What is this place? Lyra whispered, her eyes drinking in the sights. I shook my head. I've never seen anything like it, but I think we're about to find out. As we ventured further from the ship, the entity's signature grew stronger until it felt like a gentle hum in the air. The ground beneath our feet began to vibrate and the air shimmered with an intense, pulsating energy. Suddenly, the entity materialized before us. Its form was indistinct, a swirling vortex of colors that seemed to shift and flow like liquid. Lyra's hand twitched in mine and I gave it a reassuring squeeze. It's okay, I whispered. We're not here to harm it. The entity regarded us for a moment, its presence both calm and intense. Then, in a burst of light, it spoke to us in a voice that echoed in our minds. Why have you come to this place? It asked. I took a deep breath, choosing my words carefully. We mean no harm. We're explorers seeking to understand the universe and our place in it. The entity's response was immediate. You have been chosen to fulfill an ancient prophecy, one that will determine the course of the galaxy. Lyra's grip on my hand tightened and I could feel her heart racing. I looked at her and she nodded, a fierce determination in her eyes. We're ready, I said, my voice firm. The entity regarded us for a moment, then vanished as suddenly as it appeared. In its place stood a figure human, yet not human. Its skin was a deep, iridescent blue, and its hair was a wild tangle of silver locks. I am the guardian, it said, its voice like music. And you, Ambrose Wynter, are the key to unlocking the secrets of the galaxy. I felt a shiver run down my spine as the guardian approached us. Its eyes were ancient, filled with a deep, abiding wisdom. "What secrets?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. The Guardian's smile was enigmatic. "The secrets of the Ancient Ones, the secrets of the galaxy's creation, and the secrets of your own destiny, Ambrose Wynter." As it spoke, the Guardian's form began to shift, its body morphing into a being of pure energy. Lyra gasped, her eyes fixed on the spectacle before us. "What's happening?" I asked, my voice filled with wonder. The Guardian's response was cryptic. "The time of revelation is upon us. Prepare yourselves, for the truth will change you forever." And with that, the Guardian vanished, leaving us standing alone on the planet's surface. Lyra turned to me, her eyes shining with a mix of excitement and trepidation. "What just happened?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. I shook my head, my mind reeling with the implications. "I don't know, but I think our journey is about to take a very unexpected turn." As I spoke, the planet's landscape began to shift, the crystal spires and iridescent forests blurring into a kaleidoscope of colors. The air was filled with an intense, pulsating energy, and I knew that we were on the cusp of something momentous. "We need to get back to the ship," I said, my voice firm. Lyra nodded, her eyes never leaving mine. Together, we turned and ran, the unknown waiting for us like an open door. We sprinted back to the ship, the landscape around us dissolving into a swirling vortex of colors. The air crackled with energy, and I could feel the entity's presence still resonating within me. Lyra's hand was a vice grip on mine, her trust in me palpable. As we reached the ship, the ramp extended and we leaped aboard, gasping for breath. The hatch closed behind us and the ship's systems hummed to life. I called up the navigation charts, my mind racing with the implications of the Guardian's words. "What just happened back there?" Lyra asked, her voice still laced with wonder. I shook my head, trying to process the revelation. "I think we've stumbled into something much bigger than we ever could have imagined." Lyra's eyes narrowed. "The Guardian said we've been chosen for an ancient prophecy." "What does that mean?" I leaned back in my chair, steepling my fingers together. "I'm not entirely sure, but I think it means we're about to uncover secrets that have been hidden for millions of years." The ship's computer beeped and I called up the data on the main screen. The charts displayed a series of coordinates, each one linked to an ancient alien artifact. "It looks like we have our next destination," I said, my heart pounding in anticipation. Lyra's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Where are we headed?" I smiled, my mind already racing with the possibilities. "It seems we're about to uncover the secrets of the Ancient Ones." The ship's engines roared to life, and we shot out of the planet's atmosphere, bound for the unknown. As we emerged into the galaxy, I felt a sense of wonder wash over me. The stars stretched out before us like a canvas of endless possibility. "This is it," I whispered, my voice barely audible over the engines. "This is where our journey truly begins." Lyra's hand found mine once more, and we gazed out at the starfield together, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The ship's computer beeped again, and I called up the data on the main screen. The words scrolled across the display, and my heart skipped a beat as I read the message. "Ambrose Wynter, this is the Galactic Council. You have been warned. Do not attempt to uncover the secrets of the Ancient Ones. You will be stopped." I felt a chill run down my spine as I gazed at the message. It seemed our journey had just become a lot more complicated. I looked at Lyra and she nodded, her determination evident. "We can't back down now," she said, her voice firm. I smiled, a plan already forming in my mind. "We won. Let's show them what we're capable of." The ship's engines surged and we shot toward our destination, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The stars blurred around us as we entered the next system, the ship's advanced sensors scanning for any signs of danger. Lyra and I exchanged a glance, our minds still reeling from the Guardian's words and the Council's ominous warning. "I've got something," Lyra said, her eyes fixed on the data streaming across her console. "An ancient temple on the third planet in this system. It's emitting a unique energy signature, matching the coordinates the Guardian provided." I nodded, my heart racing with excitement. "That's our destination. Prepare for landing." The ship shuddered as we entered the planet's atmosphere, the landscape unfolding like a tapestry of wonders. Towering crystal spires pierced the sky, their facets glinting with an otherworldly light. "This place is incredible," Lyra breathed, her eyes wide with awe. I grinned, feeling a sense of wonder wash over me. "We're just getting started." The ship landed on the outskirts of the temple complex and we suited up, our equipment humming to life. As we stepped out into the alien landscape, the air was filled with an electric sense of anticipation. The temple's entrance was a massive stone door, adorned with ancient runes that pulsed with a soft blue light. I reached out, feeling an energy emanating from the symbols, and the door slid open with a gentle whisper. Inside, the temple was a labyrinth of twisting corridors and chambers, each one filled with ancient artifacts and mysterious devices. We explored the temple, uncovering cryptic messages etched into the walls, and slowly, a picture began to emerge. "This is it," I whispered, my eyes fixed on a holographic display projecting from an ancient console. The Ancient Ones built this temple as a gateway to their knowledge. They left behind a roadmap to their secrets. Lyra's eyes sparkled with excitement. "What does it say?" I nodded, my mind racing with the implications. "It speaks of an artifact hidden deep within the galaxy, a relic of immense power. Whoever claims it will hold the key to unlocking the secrets of the Ancient Ones." Suddenly, the temple's lights flickered, and the air was filled with an ominous energy. I felt a presence watching us, a presence that did not want us to uncover the secrets of the Ancient Ones. "We're not alone," Lyra whispered, her hand on her blaster. I nodded, my heart pounding in anticipation. "Let's get out of here. We've got a new destination." We sprinted back to the ship, the temple's energy signature fading behind us. As we lifted off, I called up the navigation charts, a new course plotting its way across the galaxy. "Where are we headed?" Lyra asked, her eyes fixed on the display. I smiled, a sense of determination burning within me. "We're going to find that artifact, no matter what it takes." The ship's engines roared to life, and we shot into the unknown, ready to face whatever lay ahead. But I knew we weren't the only ones searching for the artifact. The Council would stop at nothing to claim it for themselves. And I knew that our journey was about to become a lot more complicated as we traversed the galaxy. The silence between Lyra and me was thick with tension. We both knew the stakes had never been higher. The Council would spare no expense to claim the artifact, and I had to stay one step ahead of them. I called up the navigation charts, studying the route we'd plotted. The artifact was hidden on a remote planet, deep in the heart of the Cygnus X1 galaxy. The journey would take weeks, but I knew we had to press on. Lyra broke the silence, her voice laced with concern. "Ambrose, what's the plan when we get there? We can't just walk in and expect to find it." I nodded, my mind already racing with strategies. "I've been thinking about that. We'll need to gather intel on the planet's defenses, find a way to infiltrate the artifact's resting place. It won't be easy, but I have a few ideas." Lyra raised an eyebrow. "Care to share?" I smiled, a plan beginning to take shape in my mind. "I've been studying the Ancient Ones' technology. I think I can adapt their energy signature to mask our ship's presence. We can sneak in undetected, at least initially." Lyra's eyes narrowed. "And what about the Council? They'll have agents on the ground waiting for us." I leaned forward, my determination growing. "That's where things get interesting. I've been in contact with some old acquaintances. They are willing to provide us with a distraction, a diversion to draw the Council's agents away from the artifact." Lyra's expression turned skeptical. "Who are these acquaintances?" I hesitated, weighing the risks. "Let's just say they are not exactly allies, but they have a vested interest in seeing the Council fail. They'll provide the distraction, but we need to be prepared to make our move quickly." Lyra nodded, her eyes flashing with determination. "I'm in." "What's the signal?" I grinned, a sense of excitement building within me. "We'll receive a transmission from our friends. When we do, we'll make our move." The silence between us was broken only by the hum of the ship's engines. We both knew the stakes had never been higher, but I was ready to face whatever lay ahead. As we entered the Cygnus X1 galaxy, the stars swirled around us like a vortex. I felt a sense of destiny calling, drawing me closer to the artifact. The transmission came suddenly, a burst of static-filled audio from an unknown sender. Lyra and I exchanged a glance, our hearts pounding in unison. "It's time," I whispered, my voice barely audible over the ship's engines. The ship shuddered, dropping out of hyperspace mere kilometers from the planet's surface. The landscape unfolded before us, a barren wasteland of twisted rock and toxic ash. I nodded, my determination burning brighter than ever. "Let's get to work." The ship's engines died and an eerie silence fell over us. I felt the weight of history on my shoulders, the fate of humanity hanging in the balance. I took a deep breath, my eyes locked on the planet's surface. "It's time to change the course of history." We descended onto the planet's surface, our ship's landing struts sinking into the dusty terrain. The air was thick with noxious fumes, making every breath a battle. Lyra and I exchanged a glance, our faces set with determination. This was it. This was the moment we'd been working towards. I nodded to Lyra, and she sprang into action, deploying the ship's sensors to scan for any signs of the artifact. I activated the energy masking device, its hum thrumming in harmony with the ship's engines. Our presence was now invisible to the Council's prying eyes. The planet's landscape stretched out before us, a twisted expanse of jagged rock and toxic waste. The artifact was hidden somewhere within this barren wasteland, guarded by ancient defenses and treacherous terrain. I called up the navigation charts, studying the topography. Our window of opportunity was narrow, we had to move fast. "Ambrose, I've got something," Lyra called out, her voice tinged with excitement. I rushed to her side, peering at the data streaming across the console. A faint energy signature pulsed on the edge of the screen, a whisper of the artifact's presence. "That's it," I breathed, my heart racing. "That's the artifact's energy signature." Lyra's eyes locked onto mine, a fierce determination burning within them. "Let's get moving." We geared up, our footsteps echoing through the stillness as we ventured into the unknown. The planet's air was toxic, but our suits protected us from the worst of it. We moved swiftly, our footsteps light on the dusty terrain. The landscape shifted around us, the rocks morphing into twisted spires that reached towards the dark sky. The air grew thicker, heavier, as if the very atmosphere itself was alive and hostile. I could feel the weight of the Ancient One's technology bearing down upon us, their defenses waiting to be triggered. Suddenly, the ground gave way beneath our feet and we stumbled into a hidden chamber. The air was heavy with an otherworldly energy, the artifact pulsing with an intense power. "It's here," I whispered, my voice awestruck. "It's finally here." Lyra's hand grasped mine, her grip like a vice. "We did it, Ambrose. We actually did it." I smiled, my heart racing with excitement. We'd done the impossible. We'd found the artifact. But as I reached out to claim it, the chamber erupted into a blaze of light and sound. Alarms blared and the ancient defenses roared to life. We'd triggered a trap and now we were running out of time. The Council's agents would be closing in, drawn by the artifact's power. We had to get out and fast. I grabbed Lyra's arm, pulling her towards the exit. "We have to go now," I yelled above the din. Lyra nodded, her face set with determination. We sprinted through the chamber, the artifact's energy blazing behind us. We burst out of the hidden chamber, the toxic air slamming into us like a fist. The ship was our only hope. We had to get back on board, get out of here before it was too late. I could feel the Council's agents closing in, their presence like a dark shadow on the horizon. We sprinted across the wasteland, our footsteps pounding out a rhythm on the dusty terrain. The ship loomed before us, its engines roaring to life as we approached. We burst through the hatch, slamming it shut behind us. Lyra leapt into the pilot's seat, her fingers flying across the console. The ship lifted off, its engines thrusting us into the sky. We broke atmosphere, the stars blurring into a vortex around us. I let out a deep breath, my heart still racing. We'd done it. We'd secured the artifact. But as we jumped into hyperspace, a transmission crackled through the comms system. The council's cold, calculated tone sent a chill down my spine. Ambrose Wynter, you have made a grave mistake. You will pay for your arrogance. I smiled, a plan already forming in my mind. I'm not afraid of you. I'll show you what humanity is truly capable of. The council's silence was its only response, but I knew they were already planning their next move. The game was far from over, and I was ready to play Lyra, plot a course for the Aurora Initiative's nearest outpost. I ordered, my mind racing with the implications of the council's threat. Ambrose, Lyra replied, her fingers dancing across the console. The ship's navigation charts flickered to life, plotting a course through the treacherous expanse of hyperspace. I turned to the artifact, still pulsing with energy in the cargo bay. Its power was intoxicating, and I could feel its influence coursing through my veins. I knew that with this artifact, humanity's future was secure. But at what cost? The Council's transmission still echoed in my mind, their cold, calculated tone sending a shiver down my spine. They would stop at nothing to reclaim the artifact, to maintain their grip on the galaxy. I made my way to the ship's comms system, my thoughts racing with the possibilities. I had to stay one step ahead of the Council, to outmaneuver them at every turn. Lyra, hail the Aurora Initiative, I ordered, my voice firm and resolute. Ambrose, we're receiving a transmission from the Aurora Initiative, Lyra called out, her voice laced with a hint of concern. It's Kale, the leader of the initiative. He's requesting a secure channel. I nodded, my heart pounding in anticipation. This was it, the moment of truth. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for the conversation to come. Put him through, Lyra. I ordered, my voice steady. The comm system beeped and Kale's voice filled the cockpit, laced with a hint of urgency. Ambrose, we've received reports of the Council's agents mobilizing. They're coming for you and they won't stop until they've reclaimed the artifact. I smiled, a plan forming in my mind. I'm counting on it, Kale. I have a plan to take down the Council once and for all. Are you with me? Kale's silence was palpable, and for a moment, I wondered if I'd misjudged him. But then his voice crackled through the comm system, his tone firm and resolute. I'm with you, Ambrose. We'll take down the Council together. I smiled, a sense of determination burning within me. The game was far from over and I was ready to play. But as I gazed out into the depths of hyperspace, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was walking into a trap, one that would change the course of humanity's destiny forever. Lyra, plot a secondary course, one that takes us around the Council's likely intercept points, I ordered, my mind racing with the possibilities. Ambrose, Lyra replied, her fingers flying across the console. I turned to Kale's transmission, still echoing in my mind. I knew I had to trust him, but a part of me wondered if he was hiding something. I pushed the thought aside, focusing on the task at hand. Lyra, can you hack into the Council's mainframe? I asked, my voice low and even. Lyra's eyes flicked towards me, a hint of uncertainty in her gaze. I can try, Ambrose, but the Council's security is formidable. I'll need time to breach their defenses. I nodded, a plan forming in my mind. Do it, Lyra. I need to know what they are planning. The ship's console beeped and Lyra's fingers danced across the keyboard. The air was thick with tension as we waited for her to breach the Council's mainframe. Suddenly, the console flashed to life, spewing forth a stream of data. Lyra's eyes scanned the information, her face pale. Ambrose, I've found something, she whispered, her voice laced with concern. I leaned in, my heart pounding in anticipation. What is it? Lyra's eyes locked onto mine, a hint of fear in her gaze. The Council's mobilizing their entire fleet. They're going to crush humanity beneath their heel. I felt a cold dread creeping up my spine, but I pushed it aside. I had to stay focused, to outmaneuver the Council at every turn. Lyra, plot a course for the nearest wormhole, I ordered, my voice firm and resolute. Ambrose, Lyra replied, her fingers flying across the console. The ship lurched forward, the hyperspace engines roaring to life. We were playing a dangerous game, one that could cost humanity its very existence. But I was ready to take that risk, to push the boundaries of what was possible. As we hurtled through the wormhole, The ship shuddering around us, I felt a sense of determination burning within me. I would stop at nothing to protect humanity, to ensure our survival in a galaxy fraught with danger. The wormhole spat us out on the other side, and Lyra's console beeped to life. Ambrose, we're receiving a transmission from the Council, she called out, her voice laced with a hint of fear. I smiled, a plan forming in my mind. Put it through, Lyra. It's time to face the Council once and for all. The comm system beeped, and the Council's leader, Archaea, filled the cockpit, her voice dripping with malice. Ambrose Wynter, you are a fool for thinking you can defeat us. We will crush humanity, and you will be the one who leads them to the slaughter. I laughed, a cold, calculating sound. Archaea, you underestimate me. I have the artifact, and with it, I will bring humanity to greatness. Archaea's smile was cold and calculating. Well, see about that, Ambrose. You have 24 hours to surrender the artifact. After that, well, show no mercy. I smiled, a sense of confidence burning within me. I knew I had the upper hand, and I was ready to play my next move. Lyra, plot a course for the Council's stronghold, I ordered, my voice firm and resolute. I, Ambrose, Lyra replied, her fingers flying across the console. The game was on, and I was ready to take the Council down. But as we hurtled towards the Council's stronghold, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was walking into a trap, one that would change the course of humanity's destiny forever. The ship shuddered as we entered the Council's stronghold, the massive structure looming before us like a behemoth. Lyra's console beeped, and she called out, Ambrose, we're being hailed by the Council's defenders. I nodded, my heart pounding in my chest. Put them through, Lyra. The comm system crackled to life, and a cold, robotic voice spoke. Ambrose Wynter, you have entered Council space without permission. Prepare to be boarded. I smiled, a plan forming in my mind. I'm not here to surrender, I replied, my voice firm and resolute. I'm here to take back what's rightfully ours. The robot's response was immediate. You are no match for our defenses, human. We will crush you and your rebellion. I laughed, a cold, calculating sound. You underestimate me, robot. I have the artifact, and with it, I will bring humanity to greatness. Prepare to meet your maker. The robot's response was silence, and I knew I had struck a nerve. Lyra's console beeped, and she called out, Ambrose, I've detected a weakness in the Council's defenses. We can breach their shields if I cut her off, my mind racing with the possibilities. Do it, Lyra. Now. The ship lurched forward, the hyperspace engines roaring to life. We burst through the Council's shields, the stronghold's internal defenses springing to life around us. Lyra's console beeped, and she called out, Ambrose, we're being targeted by the Council's point defense systems. I nodded, my heart pounding in my chest. Return fire, Lyra. Take out their guns. The ship shuddered as our cannons fired, the Council's point defense systems exploding in a shower of sparks. We punched through the stronghold's defenses, making our way deeper into the heart of the Council's base. Lyra's console beeped, and she called out, Ambrose, we're approaching the throne room. Archaea's waiting for us. I smiled, a sense of determination burning within me. It's time to end this, Lyra. Prepare to beam me down to the throne room. The transport beam enveloped me, and I felt myself being pulled apart and put back together again. I materialized in the throne room, Archaea's cold, calculating gaze waiting for me. Ambrose Wynter, she spat, her voice dripping with malice. You are a fool for thinking you can defeat us. We will crush humanity, and you will be the one who leads them to the slaughter. I laughed, a cold, calculating sound. Archaea, you underestimate me. I have the artifact, and with it, I will bring humanity to greatness. You, on the other hand, are nothing but a relic of the past. Archaea's smile was cold and calculating. We'll see about that, Ambrose. You have 24 hours to surrender the artifact. After that, we'll show no mercy. I smiled, a sense of confidence burning within me. I knew I had the upper hand, and I was ready to play my next move. Lyra, can you hack into the Council's mainframe? I asked, my voice low and even. Lyra's voice came back, her tone hesitant. Ambrose, I can try, but the Council's security is formidable. I'll need time to breach their defenses. I nodded, a plan forming in my mind. Do it, Lyra. I need to know what they're planning. The air was thick with tension as we waited, the council's guards watching me with cold, calculating gazes. I knew I had to stay focused to outmaneuver the council at every turn. Suddenly, Lyra's voice came back, her tone urgent. "Ambrose, I've found something." The council's planning to, but before she could finish, the throne room doors slammed shut and Archaea's voice spoke, her tone dripping with malice. "It seems you've outlived your usefulness, Ambrose Wynter. You will make a fine addition to our collection." I smiled, a cold, calculating sound. "You underestimate me, Archaea. I have one last trick up my sleeve." The room fell silent, the council's guards watching me with cold, calculating gazes. I knew I had to stay focused to outmaneuver the council at every turn. And then I made my move.